The Fourth Great Ninja War saw many legends created, most notably Naruto Uzumaki, the sole member of Team 7 who is widely credited with ending the war. However, as we all know, Sasuke played a huge role in ending the war as well. However, when it comes to the legacies of the new Team 7, most fans tend to overlook Sakura Haruno. While it's easy to say that Sakura just healed a bunch of shinobi, a lot of whom were basically fodder, it's important to note that in the Naruto verse, Sakura is seen as just as much of a hero as Naruto. However, it isn't due to just her efforts on the battlefield or even her saving countless ninja during the war. Instead, Sakura's legacy is defined by what she did in the immediate aftermath of the Ninja War. In today's Naruto Explained video, I plan to share with you all the story behind Sakura Haruno's legacy, which is her revolutionary medical clinics for children. As fans of the series, it can be easy to overlook the fact that Naruto and his classmates were teenagers who were thrust into a war. A lot of the main cast, as well as the extended cast, were still in their mid-teens during the Fourth Great Ninja War, which means that their brains were still developing, due to the chemical imbalances that exist inside the brain of teenagers when compared to an adult that is fully developed. Sakura understood that her classmates, as well as the younger shinobi and even the children who didn't actively participate in the war, had gone through a very traumatic experience. I don't think I need to remind any of you how the trauma of war caused Kakashi to suffer from extreme PTSD after he killed Rin, and let's not even get started on Obito Uchiha's reaction to seeing Rin die at the hands of Kakashi. Neji Hyuga wasn't the only person who died during the war who had close ties to someone. Many ninja from other villages, not much older or younger than Naruto and his classmates, saw people close to them die. This is where the medical clinics that Sakura opened comes into play. In the immediate aftermath of the Ninja War, one of the many things that Sakura saw was that some of her patients, including some of her classmates like Rock Lee, who was still hunted by Neji's death in the full 5 years after the war, complained of physical illnesses, but when she ran a check on them, the test came up inconclusive. As months passed on, Sakura began treating children and adults from the surrounding villages, which is when she discovered similar symptoms were still taking place there. It should also be noted that when the preparations for the war began, it wasn't just shinobi medics who were on the battlefield. In the Kakashi Gaiden novel, we're told that civilian medics and retired medics were taken to the battlefield as support, leaving many villages and towns without doctors, which led to people dying during the 3-day span that the Ninja War took place, because in some villages there were no doctors there to take care of the elderly. In some of the nations, people were gravely ill and were left to die. Also, the 5 nations could have every possible hand on deck during the war. In the Sakura Haruno novel, Love Riding the Spring Breeze, Sakura comes to this conclusion as she begins looking at the other villages. Some of the people that she spoke to had not only heard that their loved ones had died during the battle in the war, but they had also lost people due to shortage of medics in their villages, and in some cases they saw their homelands ruined. The Fourth Great Ninja War took place on several battlefronts, but in some cases the war itself spread into town areas and left large portions of the surrounding areas in ruins. While evacuation notices were sent to the Land of Frost and the Land of Hot Water, it didn't stop those areas from being left in ruins when the ninja began fighting. People returned to their villages and countries with nothing left as it was before. The practice of the 5 great nations executing wars in countries away from their own isn't anything new. In fact, this is a practice that we've seen on multiple occasions in Naruto, and it gave birth to the rise of the original Akatsuki led by Nagato. The stories that broke Sakura's heart the most were those of the young children who were mentally shattered, which hasn't helped in some of the cases where the children are now seen as new orphans. Because Sakura had gathered so much information, Tsunade allowed Sakura to take the lead on opening up the medical clinics in the 5 great nations, which focused on the mental health of children and the survivors of the Fourth Great Ninja War. In less than 2 years into Kakashi's time as Hokage, Sakura had gotten permission to set up a special division in the Children's Mental Health Center in the hospital, which might have been the center of what we saw in Boruto episode 15 when the class rep was sent to an undisclosed location. Though it might not seem like much, Sakura's actions might have prevented another Nagato from being born out of one of the many countries that were left in ruins after the aftermath of the war. she might have also prevented another Obito Uchiha from being born, where someone would be grieving over the loss of a comrade, might decide to take up arms against the 5 great nations. Well guys, that's it for my video today. So what do you guys think about the medical centers that Sakura Haruno set up and ran during the 10+ year gap between the 4th Great Ninja War and the start of the Boruto era? Let me know what you all think down in the comment section below.